What do all of these items have in common? You'll never guess, by the way, so just give up. Casio PRW 6100 series, previously reviewed, total Hall of Fame watch. So we'll put that on the table. By the way, this was not set up. They're just hanging out here for whatever reason. But they do have this one thing in common. How about a very dirty SIG P227 in 45 ACP? Put that on the table. Another watch. This will be the PRG 600 Casio Pro Trek. Not reviewed yet, but I will get around to it, I promise. Let me give you a little hint of what they have in common. See the price? Let's see. What else do I have here? Oh, I guess it's hanging out here. So, Bokor Desert Dagger. That looks pretty cool, by the way. That setup right there, it looks awesome. I could probably throw 20 more items on there, but the point has been made already. What do they have in common? I know you saw the price tag. I gave you a huge hint, and you're probably saying items that are pretty expensive that you like, Nut and Fancy. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm saying. However, let's be more specific. They're Hall of Fame items in their categories, but let's say this. They're not necessarily inexpensive. SIG's not inexpensive. I wouldn't really say the Bokor's that expensive. It's okay. It's hanging out waiting for a Dagger review. It's going to be a competitive option. That's what it's doing on the table. But, you know, it's not super cheap. I think around $150, $160 for the Bokor Desert Dagger. And these aren't inexpensive Casios. They're kind of the more expensive Casios. They're almost going up to the Master of... Not almost. They are going up to Master of G Series. But they're awesome. So they're Hall of Fame, and they're delivering Hall of Fame performance for their price levels. Here comes some more philosophy. This is what makes the show so interesting and useful to my audience, is I just don't review the specifics of the item. You're going to learn some stuff along the way about value, about integration to systems. And my point with this is, it's great when we pay money for things and they perform to the level expected. I've reviewed a lot of things that way, like the SIGs, the Glocks for that matter, all types of items, watches, knives, multi-tools. But what really excites me is when I will buy something and I think it has out-of-category performance for the price paid. Boom! Point made. I love it when that happens. I love it. And again, this isn't set up. This is just kind of hanging out in the wings for whatever, tabletop decoration. I will roll in another pistol on the tabletop to make my point. A somewhat controversial pistol, but I still like it. The Kel-Tec PF9. Still in some of my systems. Is it the best carry pistol out there? No, it's not. I carry a Glock 43 pretty much every day. In the summertime, then when it gets, you know, colder, I'll upgun some. G19, G17, Glock 29, Glock 20. I've talked about that in the pistol reviews. But I still think it's a very inexpensive carry pistol, and it still holds, in my book, the record for lightest and thinnest 9mm out there. There's a couple that may beat it, but ones that I can actually hit with at 7 yards and shoot a decent group with, well, the group narrows a lot. I think it has out-of-category performance for what you're paying, especially the amount of systems you can integrate it into. For instance, this is coming out of my KTM 1190 top case right here, brah. And this is limited edition wallet brown is what they call this in the day. It lasted for about 10 minutes. I think it came through CDNN is where we got this from. We ordered it. Shipped it to our FFL. And then this is an FDE coated, Cerakoted slide by TD. Looks really cool. Now guys will whine about the PF9 and they'll say, hey, I don't like this. You know, the trigger hurts my little pinky. My twiggle finger when I shoot it. I've heard guys say that. It swaps my twiggle finger. Like, man up, dude. Freaking A. It's not a recreational pistol. It's an emergency, last-ditch defensive firearm. Even if you were to crank 600 rounds a year through this thing in your practice sessions, which, by the way, you'll never do, No one I know that carries practices that much. Maybe once a year. There's truth. I don't care what people say online. It's rare. You know, I do all the time because I'm doing the show. But if I wasn't doing the show, I'd probably do it. To be totally honest with you guys, I'd probably only do it twice a year with my carry pistol. There's truth for you. And that's relatively frequently. Guys that do it every quarter, rare still. Very rare. So shooting it to that level, this is going to last your lifetime. You know, 200 rounds a session, 100 rounds a session. It'll last forever. Says me. And by the way, that's voice of experience. I mean, we have hundreds and hundreds of rounds through our PF9s. We're not sitting down shooting 1,000 rounds at one session. You do that, and this gun's probably going to fail. Something's going to fly off of it. It will. Glocks, maybe not. Glock can take it. PF9 can't. Not the best carry pistol, but for what you're paying, you know, half that of a Glock, and still functions, accurate, reliable, mostly. That's good. I think it's out of category performance. You're getting more than you paid for, especially if you buy it used. You buy a Kel-Tec PF9 used, you get it for like free. There you go. Oh yeah, this is a knife review. I love that intro though. It's a good point. And the knife I'm going to be talking about is going to be the Begleiter. That's how I'm going to say it. A2. Here it is. It too provides out of category performance, and that excites me. It should you as well. For instance, the price when I reviewed this was about 40 bucks. 40 bucks for the A2 Begleiter. Is it the best EDC blade out there? No, it's not. There's others that I would like more. But for 40 bucks, it's a great deal. It performs like $100 knife. It really does. The Begleiter, which I think is German for companion, reading their write-up on this knife. I could be wrong on that, and if I am, sorry. It's not that important. The model number is, though, it's going to be V4458A2, and it's stamped right here, incidentally, on the 3.3-inch VG10 from Japan, titanium-coated drop point blade, which I'll talk about here in a second. There's your model number. Flip it over. See more writing. Begleiter. It says A0? AZ0? But right here, this is a package. I'm just calling it the A2 model number. And I said I'd talk about that drop point. Dude, I just love full flat ground drop points for EDC, because what we're doing with our EDC blades is what? Yep, opening packages, letters, slicing an apple, maybe slicing an orange up. EDC's cutting. FFG is perfect for that. One thing I don't like about this blade is I can't remove the thumb studs easily. Although I will say this, I did not take two pairs of pliers and try to just untorque them. You might be able to do that. So let me correct myself on that. You might be able to do that. And the reason that's important is it just makes my sharpening life so much easier. When I have a consistent flat on whatever blade I'm sharpening. Do I have another example to show you? What do I have here? Oh, this is a great example. Cold Steel XL Recon 1. This is a perfect example. So see, and then you can see my screw that I've used. So I take this thumb stud off, consistent flat right here on my Edge Pro, and then I can put an edge on this. I've shown this knife a lot. Ah, that looks cool. This is another out of category performer. So what you pay for in this knife, this Cold Steel Recon 1, you're getting it's like a freaking folding survival knife. I've batoned with this thing. That triad lock will not break. Not on me. That's awesome. All Cold Steel knives are awesome. One of my favorite makers. Here I am doing a mini Cold Steel review again. But thumb stud. That's my point here. So I would like it if they had this slotted or whatever, so we could take it off more easily. That's just me. I love the titanium coating on it. That's a really high quality finish. And actually, Kizer does some great finishes on their blades. I reviewed the Vanguard Dukes and the Zambi in 2016 here in the knife show. I was a little bit disheartened with the views it got. I was introducing the brand to my audience, and it didn't seem like you guys really dug it so much, judging from the views. It seems like the knife community as a whole has embraced Kizer because they sell a lot of knives. Talking to my retailers like BHQ. Jake at Blade HQ says, oh yeah, Kizers sell. Guys love them. They're a lot of knife for the money. They're based in China, of course. And they are using U.S. and Japanese made materials. Japanese VG10 in this instance, maybe U.S. produced G10. I'm not sure on the G10. So, the knife community is buying them. And again, like I've said in many other KRVs, a lot of your knives you're buying from Spyderco, Kershaw would qualify, are either produced in China or Taiwan. And then they're functioning as the middleman to get you the knife. So they're still Chinese blades, but they're having an American name stamped on them, for whatever reason, for lowering their production costs. I'm all for that. Point being is that a lot of the knives you've been carrying are made in China, and they're outstanding. I mean, really excellent quality. I've defended the quality forever here in TNP. You can't really fault the quality. If you want to get involved in the conversation of buy American politics, go ahead. But, that's not really the point here. Go somewhere else and fight that battle. We're just looking at the item. For $42, though, the quality formula that Kizer puts together, again, makes it seem like a much more expensive knife. How much would this knife be if I produced it in the United States with all American labor? I'll estimate $150. With a different steel. It wouldn't be VG10 then. It'd be more like probably a CPM steel. Maybe we put S30V. Same exact construction. 100% USA. Yeah, 150. Maybe more. Reference a zero tolerance line. That's a good price point for you. There. So perfect blade, except one thing, and I got to cover this. The edge on it blows. It's really bad. I mean, you should not be able to do this on any knife that has a sharp edge. By the way, don't try it. Kids, don't try this at home. But that's horrible. It needs some work. And let me see, there's a knife I have here. I still have this one on the table. I used it in a previous review. It's the old VTech. And I re-edged this. I mean, I couldn't do this on my re-edged VTech, which is a Sebenza-like blade I reviewed like in 2009. Here you go, Taiwanese production, way back in 2009 or 10, whenever I reviewed it. But I couldn't run my finger along that. That's freaking wicked. By the way, I think that's also VG10 in this blade. I think. I can't be positive on that. That's a cool knife, by the way. Look at the finish on that. It's freaking cool. Still have. This isn't just a great cast member knife for so many different reasons. Like now, using it. Let's look at the centering, shall we, on this knife as we go through the specifics. It's perfect. That's a good thing because it has a single adjustable pivot point with a very interesting blue collar accent in anodized blue aluminum, I believe. Adding visual interest and good looks. But it's only adjustable on one side. So it's a captured pivot screw. And with phosphor bronze bushings, like I always say, in there. No captured ball bearing system. There's your stop pin there. A liner lock with your timing noted here. Captured by the G10 liner. And stainless steel, 420 stainless steel liners in the Kizer Begleiter A2. Notice it is skeletonized. So here Kizer's doing it right. 3.8 ounces for this knife, which is totally carryable. Love it. Speed at which this deploys is excellent. Really good. I'm super impressed with Kizer. I really am. I mean, every knife I've brought to table, and some I haven't brought to table that I've examined, I've really liked. I was like, this is a good knife. They are getting some really high quality knives to the world, and good on them. Open construction with some standoffs. I think it would look cooler if the liners were blackened in this version, and there may be some other colorations for the A2 out there. That's a really nice place to attach your lanyard if you do that. You should be able to get paracord through there no problems. Another plus for this Kizer. And notice the liners are a little bit proud on the G10. And the G10 is milled pretty much perfectly with no hot spots. And the speed can also be attributed to the big cutouts left and right for ease of deployment. Speaking of which, let's check the retention on the detent. Off camera, shake it out. Awesome. Yeah, really good lockup. Love that olive drab G10. I'll give it medium-high traction rating. Medium-high, which is pretty good. That's better than most Chinese knives. And coming to mind would be the Birdline and Spyderco, and also the Tenacious series of Spyderco. The traction here is better. Definitely better. Yeah, and that takes it to the clip. Pretty good. It's pretty good. Hope you like its position because you're stuck with it. Thankfully, it is tip up. My favorite position still after all these years. Little bit of the handle will be protruding right here. I would like it if it was blackened, but the clip itself is pretty good. I wouldn't do anything to it. I wouldn't re-profile, try to put a different clip on there. Not me. Did I mention this thing is like 40 bucks? Buy it while you can. It will probably sell out from this review. It's happened before. Usually the guys that complain about that, dude, I come to your video and I can't find it, the item. They are only checking in on the weekends. That's why. So they're waiting, I don't know, till Saturday, Sunday to watch the videos, and maybe I post this on a Wednesday. And dude, by that time, it's sold. Sorry, can't control it. And I can't really contact the manufacturer and say, hey man, or whoever, like Blade HQ, and go, hey man, buy like 500 of these because I want to review it and give it a positive rating. I don't know what you guys will like. Kind of like the Vanguard Dukes and the Zambia. I thought you guys would dig those, and they flatlined. They were DOA. Dead on arrival. There's nothing I don't like about the knife except the edge out of box. That's about it. The looks, the quality of materials, and maybe a slight ding on VG10 these days. I'd much rather have a S30 CPM steel, to be honest with you. That's where I am now. I've been saying that for a couple of years in my reviews. But, you know, for a Chinese-produced blade, sourcing Japanese VG10, I'll do it. The rust resistance is going to be insane. But I can fix the edge. That's not that big of a deal. And like I said, I can probably pop those thumb studs off as well. Total Hall of Fame. It really looks and feels and probably will perform, again, out of price category, which excites me. So it's cool when we buy items that are expensive. Well, in my book, expensive. In other books, maybe not so much. And they perform as expected or a little bit better than expected. But I like it when I can buy something that's less expensive and that makes me happy and does a job really well. That's a Kizer Begleiter EDC Net Fancy review complete.